What's up, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Today we are in Premiere Pro and I am showing you guys how to do the plasma effect. Sorry I haven't been uploading lately, just been a bit busy, but school's over and I should get back on top of my YouTube grind. Without further ado, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed, and comment video ideas. I always want video ideas just because I'm a lazy bastard, you know. Anyways, let's get into this tutorial. Before I start this tutorial, let me tell you about Beamcell. Beamcell is a website that sells various things related to games. So they will sell Fortnite in-game items and codes for them, codes for V-Bucks, codes for different events that Fortnite does, such as Skull Trooper skins, the Psych bundle, and the Rogue Spider Knight bundle. It has various games and items that you can buy for cheap prices, and the best thing is they have thousands of happy customers that actually have left good reviews on their website, and it is 100% legit. They have so many buyers, it's insane, and they have them all vouched on their Instagram page, which you can go check out, or you can see it on screen right now. Okay guys, so I'm in Premiere Pro. I have set up my project, I have imported my clips and my music. As you can see, I've got it all synced up here with beat drop. So yeah, if you guys don't know how to set up and import all of that stuff, go ahead and watch my Premiere Pro basics tutorial first, and that will help you a lot with this video. But first things first, what we want to do is we want to create the scale effect. So I had to figure out how to make this plasma effect, but essentially it's just RSMB with a bit of a scale effect, like a little screen pump, and then it has some motion blur and stuff like that. And then you can change the color. You can really get creative with this effect actually, and I'm just going to show you the basics of how to set it up. And yeah, so without further ado, first things first, go ahead to your effect controls, go ahead and find where you want your little screen pump. So I'm gonna have mine right when I hit the shot, so right here. Actually, I'm gonna have mine where I shoot, so right there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and click scale, the keyframe button for scale, and the little keyframe will appear right here. Now what I want to do is I want to go back 3 frames, so 1, 2, 3, and then I want to go back to that middle frame, and then I want to go 5 frames from there, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is personal preference because however many frames between the middle one will be how fast the pump happens, so you'll see it in a second. So I'm going to change this, so make sure you're hovering over your middle one. Make sure you're hovering over this middle keyframe, and go ahead over to the scale and change this value to whatever you like. I'm gonna make mine 125. So this is what I've got so far. Now I don't really like that, so I'm gonna push this back a few frames. As you can see, we've got a little screen pump now. What I am going to do after making that screen pump, I'm going to go to effects, and I'm going to search for directional blur. Directional blur right there. Okay, go ahead and create an adjustment layer by clicking this little icon right here, the new item icon. Go adjustment layer, create that. I already have mine here. So once you've created that, go ahead and drag that over onto your clip, and then just trim that over your clip where you want it, and go ahead and drag directional blur over on top of it. Now what we want is we want to create a keyframe for this, so we want to add direction blur length. Go ahead and click blur length. Go ahead and click blur length when you're hovering over your shot. So right here is where I want it to start. It's basically where I want the peak of the effect to be. And then go ahead to where you want this to start. So I want mine to start right before the gunshot. Then right there, and then I'm going to go right to the end of this, and I'm going to create another keyframe. As you can see, we've got these keyframes here now. So now go back to that first one we created, and go ahead and change the blur length to 7. Actually, it might even make that 10. No, screw that, 13. We're going big. And then I'm gonna, if you go ahead and change this, it will change to the angle you want it. So I'm gonna have mine 180. Just type in 180, and that will be like vertical. So as you can see, it does the little screen pump with this directional blur effect. Now, if you want this, if this isn't strong enough for you, you can go ahead and turn it to the max. You can go to make it 1000, you know, and that's what it will look like if you make it max, which is a bit ridiculous. But if you really want to go out, I reckon 25 might even be a good value. But I'm gonna leave mine at 13 for now. Okay, and now the last step to this, the last basic step, we're gonna call them basic steps because these are all really basic effects mixed together. I'm gonna add the exposure effect, which I've taught you in many previous videos. So go ahead and go to adjustment layer, drag that over, exactly over the directional blur. Then go and to your presets and find exposure effect. Now, if you're new to this channel and you don't have this preset pre-installed, go ahead to the description and there should be a link to download this. Once you have downloaded this applies to any preset I asked you to download in this video. Go ahead and go to these 3 lines, go import preset, and then go ahead and find wherever you've downloaded those presets. You should just be able to double click it and it should open and appear under your presets folder in effects. So as you can see, I've got all my presets here, but I'm going to be using exposure effects. So go ahead and drag that onto the adjustment layer we just made. And as you can see, it has worked. So go ahead and find where your gun shoots. And that's basically where you want this exposure effect to start. So if you scroll down in your effects control, you should see these keyframes. Go ahead and grab this middle one and drag it to wherever you want it to start, and then drag this one to wherever you want it to start building up, basically. So as you can see, it looks like that. Now I actually want this to last until, actually I want it to last for a while, so I'm gonna extend this adjustment layer and then drag this last keyframe to the max. So I'm gonna actually make it go even further, maybe to there, no, right to the end. And I think that build up is a little strong, so I'm gonna drag that first keyframe out a bit. Actually, you know what, I'm gonna leave that. And I don't want it to be so bright, so I'm gonna make that, I'm gonna go ahead and click that first keyframe. I'm gonna go ahead and click that middle keyframe, wherever it is, right here. Click that middle keyframe, and then go to exposure and tone that down to maybe 4. As you can see, that's a lot less in your face, and it looks a lot nicer. Now, basically, what I want to do is I want to repeat this effect, but I'm going to change a few things up. But I want to repeat that when I hit the thing. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold Alt on this first adjustment layer, and I'm going to drag it over to this one as well. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to change up the color of this motion blur effect, as you would call it. And what I want to do is make it a bit more vibrant. I might add some like purple tint to it. But to do this, go ahead and go create another adjustment layer. Go ahead and drag that over here. Now I want mine to start when the motion blur kicks in, so I'm going to trim it right there. And then I'm going to end it where the exposure effect ends, right here. So it should be this length. So go ahead and type in the effects panel, Lumetri color. go ahead and grab that effect and drag that onto the adjustment layer. Now if you go to Effect Controls panel and you scroll down, you should see Lumetri Color. What we want is we want to go to Creative. What we want to use is the Shadow Tint. So I'm going to go ahead and create a keyframe right here, just before the motion blur kicks in. Go ahead and click this little timer looking icon. Click that. And it should create a keyframe right here. Now what I want to do is I want to go right to the end of this and create another keyframe. So go back to that first keyframe and go ahead and change the shadow tint to whatever color you want. You can mess around as much as you want, but I like this purple looking tint, so I'm just going to drag it over to the pinkish purple looking thing. So now, as you can see, it kicks in and then it fades away with this exposure effect. Alrighty, and that is pretty much it for the plasma effect. You can go ham with this, honestly. You could make it do some crazy color variations. You could make it zoom in a whole bunch. You could make it like shake. You could do anything with this. And which is the beauty of video editing, like you don't have to do it exactly how other people do it. And I feel like everybody's always like, how do I edit like Flea? But like honestly, you gotta create your own editing style and mess around and learn how to use it in your way. And which I find is really cool. That's just what creativity is. So for the last thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some slow motion. So I am going to go ahead and go to show clip keyframes, go to time remapping and add speed. And then right here, I'm going to go create a speed keyframe right here in Effect Controls. And then I will start the slow motion right here. So I just drag this bar down. The reason I'm explaining this so fast is because I'm assuming you guys know this from previous videos. So if you are struggling to keep up and understand what I'm doing, go ahead and watch my basics videos. That will really help. I'm telling you that right now. So let's watch this one more time and see how it looks. And I think that looks really sick. So I hope you guys found this really useful. Again, all the links will be down in the description. And yeah, so without further ado, make sure you subscribe and leave a comment of what you liked about this video and how I can improve. And yeah, thank you all so much for 4K. I love you so much. And I'll see you in the next video, which will hopefully be soon.